In this video we're going to try to get a hold of a PC from the 90s with Windows 98 specifically. That's what I'm looking for. And then we're going to try to code on it and also play some old games, do the MS Paint, all that sort of stuff. Just a nostalgic overload. But the first challenge is going to be, how do we actually get a hold of an old PC? Because I've looked into this a little bit and apparently it's not super easy to get one, and it's also not super easy to find. I thought I would just find a friend or something that had one laying around, but apparently that's not the case. So the first step is going to be to go on to a couple of different Facebook groups, I think, and basically just post a question on there and ask if I know anyone that has, or if there's anyone in that group, I mean, that has an old PC laying around that I can use. So that's step one. I just got an answer to a question that I posted in my apartment building Facebook group because I realized the other day that I actually have, or a lot of the people that live in my apartment building are on the slightly older side. So I posted and asked if anyone had like an old PC lying around that was running Windows 98 or Windows 95. Ja, exakt. Ja, jag tänkte om du har du någon, vet du någonting om vad det är för dator och så, eller? All right, so it seems like he has the computer. He wasn't able to actually send me any pictures of it, but it seems like he has it. All right, I'm gonna go downstairs to my neighbor and see if he has the right computer. And I'm a little bit nervous. I'm gonna see if I can film it, but it's also a little bit awkward just asking if I can record stuff because he's a little bit older. All right, so that was a fail. Turns out that it was a MacBook Pro. All right, so we have an update. I've actually found a person in one of these like Facebook groups that has that computer sitting at home. So I'm gonna go get that. The only problem is that he lives quite far away, so it's like a 2.5 hour drive. All right, I'm wearing a cap and this thing. I don't have any raincoat or anything, so I was hoping that it would like slow down the rain, but it is not slowing down. Okay, so it seems to have stopped raining, and that's pretty good because I'm gonna end up getting there really cold and not in great shape. Also, this is not my car, I'm just borrowing it because the gas prices right now are like insane. So a 5-hour trip, which is what I'm about to take, would be like triple or like at least double the amount of the actual computer that I'm gonna buy, so that wouldn't make any sense. So let's go.
Always wondering when's he going to finish that house, and
I suppose he can try and get back into his house before he does. And then we lock him out. We start a guest list and it's $10 cover charge.
Alright, I just arrived. I'm gonna see if I can actually record something inside. It's gonna be a little bit awkward, but hopefully I can. Hur kommer det sig att du har såna här stående?
Jag har massor.
Du har massa såna?
Jag älskar sånt här gammalt.
at my house.
Yeah,
of course. That's the house. The first.
Alright, so we don't have much battery left. So I'm gonna try to charge the thing. And now we're supposed to just take this, plug the adapter in, and hopefully that should charge. Okay, I think it is charging. Now I really need to use the toilet, and I also feel like I need to eat something. It's 6:30 right now, and I just come back from, or I'm on my way back from the place where I bought the computer. Alright, so I'm in the toilet now. I'm gonna use the toilet. IKEA closes in like 20 minutes. So I'm on a mission to use the toilet and then go upstairs and have like a chocolate ball or something to eat. Alright, so I just got back and it's at 181, and that's within like 10 minutes. So, and this video is not sponsored by Tesla by any means, even though I wish it was. But yeah, that's really fast. Back there you can see the computer. It's a Dell something, I don't know. And here we have the massive screen, and that's the keyboard.
Totally worked. Look at that. Number 10, written in spy ink, also known as lemon.
All right, that's about 45 minutes, something like that. And we're right now at 295 kilometers.
Carbs in Brisbane are not like that.
I'm heading into the next law.
I'm back and it is 9:01 p.m. I left at 2 p.m. Alright, so now I'm home and now I have the computer here. We're gonna try out this computer tomorrow. Hopefully it hasn't broken or like nothing has changed during that like 2.5 hour car drive. So as you may have seen in the last couple of videos, I've been using the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4. And I'm very impressed with this little device. It's got a lot of improvements over the Fold 3. The screen aspect ratio is bigger than the Fold 3, for instance, and this has made a big difference in the usability of the portrait screen. On paper, it doesn't sound like it would be that noticeable, but it's actually very noticeable. And it's one of those things that's very important for this type of device. I even feel like typing is easier than on a non-folding phone because the screen is not as wide. It means that it's way easier to reach places with one hand, so one-handed typing actually becomes easier than with a non-folding device. The Z Fold 4 also feels smaller when closed, and so these things to me have been some of the biggest improvements to the overall experience of the phone. And this is not even considering the updated camera that's now a 30x zoom, or the 120Hz display. And the second thing that's made this device really enjoyable to use is the updated viewing experience, which is now I can actually have an app open like YouTube and watch a video, and then once I unfold the device, it would just continue playing seamlessly, and that's been a super nice feature. And since 90% of how I use the phone is to consume content, it's really cool to have a device that's pocketable yet unfolds to give me a tablet-sized screen and experience. So I highly recommend checking out the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4. It's a really unique and very cool device, and you can check it out at samsung.com. And I want to thank Samsung for allowing me to get my hands on this early and for sponsoring today's video. Alright, so let's see what happens if we try to use the internet. Alright, I forgot that I actually need to put in a cable for the internet, because if we don't have the cable, we basically can't use the internet because it doesn't have Wi-Fi, I don't think. But yeah, we need to get a cable and then plug that in. So I didn't want to unplug the one from my PC, but it seems like that's what we have to do. Now we have plugged in the cable. Now we can try to go to the msn.com website that it wants us to go to. Okay, so I'm not really sure what happened, but now the website just loaded. And that's good and also not good, because it's good because the website now has loaded, but it also doesn't really tell me what the problem was. Oh, and there's no like scroll wheel on the mouse either, so Alright, so it turns out that it's a little bit stressful trying to look or trying to do stuff, because since the HTTPS protocol doesn't work on this version of Internet Explorer, Windows 98 was released in 1998, and the HTTPS protocol was launched in 1995. It feels like it should be supported by the browser that's available on Windows 98. Now you can download other browsers that will work on Windows 98 that actually will allow you to go to HTTPS websites. So that might have to be the next step, because right now it's like I can't really go to any website, I can't do anything. It seems like it's frozen. And I don't really know what to do. Either I just like try to push that button and kill it, or I'll Google first, try to see if I can actually come up with a way. It definitely found some errors, and it ran ScanDisk apparently after I turned it off. Okay, so this is the third time now that I'm restarting this computer because of when I was trying to run the Opera, whatever it's called, like a browser, it basically just froze, and then now I've tried to get the computer back, so I'm just like basically force restarting it. And I hope it will work this time, but I'm thinking maybe it's just that I'm a little bit worried that it's the fact that I'm like a millennial type of person who has no patience at all for this sort of stuff, and so maybe I just need to wait more, and that's why if I would have just waited longer, then maybe it would have started working the first time I restarted it. But I do feel like I waited quite a while. Like I've waited probably 5 minutes for it to start working, and the mouse hasn't worked before. Now the mouse seems to work, which is good. And we type in the password, 1, 2, 3, 4, enter, and then we see, oh. Yeah, that's so loud. And this music, I'm like, I have no idea why this music is here. But that's good, now that works. Let's see, we have the Opera thing down here. Let's see what happens if we press that now. Hopefully it won't freeze up, but I'm guessing that it will. So maybe YouTube was a little bit far-fetched that that would work, but yeah, I just wanted to try it. Okay, so it looks like there's a code or text editor in Windows 98 that's called Edit. So if we open up the terminal or the command prompt and then type in edit and then followed by some sort of file name, then it will first of all create that file name and then open it up for us so that we can actually edit stuff and do things in it. I think we should be able to write in C, it seems like, but I'm gonna look into that a little bit more as well, but that's really good. It's good that we have an editor that's already in the command prompt, because that means that we don't need to install anything. We can just open up that editor and start working with it. It's something like Vim, it seems like, but it's not quite Vim. Okay, so it turns out they actually need a compiler to be able to run the code that I was just writing. And as you can tell here, it's not that easy to actually Google stuff on this computer, since most websites basically don't work, even if we have a browser that can handle the HTTPS protocol. So that's a bit of an issue. Okay, so today is a new day, and honestly, yesterday I don't know if I got overwhelmed or what it was, but I got so tired. The computer froze and I had to turn it off at 12% of the download. So basically right now there's like, the internet essentially doesn't work. Like there's very few places that I can go to that seem to work. But either way, we're going to attack the third thing that we're going to do, which is actually trying to do some old games. And apparently, this is how you do it. You go to the control panel, because some of the games weren't installed, apparently. So you go to the control panel, you go to the add and remove programs or software, and then you double click that, and then you go to the Windows tab, and then it will look for some programs that you can install, ticked, and then install it. And this, essentially the most important part here, from what I understood, was the accessories. And then you hit install, and hopefully this should work. Alright, so it seems like you need the diskette or whatever, like the CD thing with the Windows 98 to actually be able to install this, which I don't have. It would have been just so much simpler if it was just like, just press install on this, but of course it was not going to be that simple. Okay, so since I wasn't able to get that to work, I decided to go for some nostalgia instead and booted up MS Paint and did a classic Starry Night Sky. So this was a little bit of procrastination just before I decided to go get a USB stick and download Python 2.4, an MSI file, and actually put that onto a USB stick on my regular laptop, and then plug the USB stick into the PC and hopefully be able to run Python that way. Alright, I'm gonna try this. I've basically installed or downloaded a Python 2.4 MSI file, something like that, and I put it onto this USB stick. Alright, so while I'm waiting for this to start up, a little fun fact, actually was looking at like, can you use Python in the terminal and that sort of stuff, and apparently the pip install that was first introduced as PyInstall wasn't introduced until 2008, so at the time of this operating system, basically pip install didn't exist. Alright, so here goes nothing. We're gonna try to plug these USB sticks in. Hopefully they'll show up somehow. I have no idea how this worked back in the day, so we're gonna plug them in and hopefully they'll just show up. Windows will search for new drivers in its driver data. The removable disk F is the one that we want. If we open that, we have Borland and Python 2.4. So let's start with Python 2.4. Let's just do that. Okay, that's good. Yes, sounds good. Alright, so now let's try to run some Python. Python 2.4. Now we can actually write some code in Python, and not really sure what we can do with it, but before we continue with that, we're gonna see if we can install the games. Alright, new disk, add or remove. Alright, so this is where it will, we will make it or break it. Alright, let's see if it works. It might work. Alright, so far it seems like it doesn't really work. Alright, so now I have Age of Empires, Doom, Solitaire, Minesweeper on this USB stick. So we're going to plug it in and see how many games of these ones we can actually play. Alright, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. I've never played that game before, so I don't know what the rules are or anything like that, so I was just pressing different... I don't know. I'm not going to say any more because I'm going to embarrass myself with how little I know. Solitaire didn't work because there was like a DLL file that wasn't there, so gonna have to try to reinstall that one. But now let's try one of my favorite games of all time, and the game that I played the absolute most on one of these PCs, which is Age of Empires 2. Alright, so I guess I'm not that great at this game because I basically had time to build like 3 houses, and they were already in like the most advanced age and was like coming and just destroying my entire place. But yeah, that is Age of Empires 2. Okay, so other than Age of Empires, basically, I didn't really used to play that many games on here. I did play Solitaire, but not any of the other games I just tried, so I guess, I don't know why I should try all those games, but I thought maybe it'd be interesting for you guys. I asked a lot of you guys what you would think would be interesting to see, so I tried some of those things. But yeah, now I have the computer, so let me know if you have any ideas for like projects that I could do, anything that would be interesting on it. I guess there isn't a huge amount of value in having this thing other than the just nostalgic value that it has. And I would say that there's something, I can't really put my finger on it, but there is something to it. There is something other than just it being a computer like any other computer. There is something special to it, but I don't know like how useful it is or how valuable it is or how worth it was to go through this effort just to get this computer and to like do the stuff that I just tried. But I feel like there is something to it, and yeah, I wish I could put it into words, but it's just... Alright, so as I was editing, I just realized what it was that I was trying to put into words. It's essentially familiar, that's what it is. It's like, it feels so familiar and like comfortable. And I guess that's because it's something that I used when I was a kid, and it kind of reminds me of that time, and that's why it feels very comfortable. It feels like home in a way, which is very strange, and it feels almost cliche to say about a computer, because I feel like people will have said that in the past, but that's like what it feels like. It feels very familiar, it feels very comfortable. But yeah, now actually Python works, so we could code something, we could do some automations, we could use it for something else, like a control panel for the office, something like that. Let me know if you have any ideas for it, or if you thought this video was interesting. I hope it was kind of interesting to just follow along this journey of me trying to get the laptop or get the computer and then actually using it. But yeah, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.